Hare Krishna. There are many historical incidents which are mentioned in many Puranas. There are many very good examples of a good wife, a good husband, a good devotee playing the role of a king, the Lord who comes and takes the role of a king, like Lord Ramachandra. He was an ideal king, and Lord Ramachandra, he actually behaved just like a king. He never presented himself as a supreme personality of Godhead. Whereas Lord Krishna, when he appeared, he showed everyone that how he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Even if you see Lord Ramachandra's father Dasharath Maharaj, he actually had followed every path of dharma, and he took a vow that he'll give boon to his wife, and for that vow what he has taken, he sent Lord Ramachandra, his son, Supreme Lord, to the forest. So in ethical principles, you cannot break any vow. Whereas in spirituality, to please the Supreme Lord, you may break the vow. Like in Krishna Leela, the same Lord Narayana, the same Lord Krishna, Jagannath, he broke many times morally, ethically few vows which are transcendental. In transcendental matters, few vows broken is actually not broken, because it is finally the Lord himself, and his leelas are meant to give pleasure to devotees. Like he was stealing butter, butter thief we call. Like Janmashtami is very famous for Krishna taking butter. They many people make pots, and there are games which people climb and they take the pot, they pour water on them. So this matka breaking, pot breaking is very famous, and it happens in Janmashtami all over India. So this Janmashtami, we are very happy that devotees are all participating in their respective homes peacefully by offering to Krishna few sweets with devotion and chanting and glorifying his names. So this is the glory of Lord Krishna's pastimes. So every Leela has its own significance. Lord Krishna, he broke few principles to please his devotees. His father Vasudeva, he broke few principles which he promised to Kamsa, that I will not break my vow, I will give all my children to you. But later, with Krishna, what he did? He prayed to the Lord, and in the night he took away him, and he left him in the house of Maharaj Nanda, his friend's house, and he came back. So if you see, both are fathers only of the Lord. So Dasharath was exactly following like how his son Lord Rama has come in that avatar to set up an example as a king, ideal king. Ideal king has some duties. Like Dasharath Maharaj never liked that his son Ram and Lakshman has to go with Vishwamitra Muni to the forest. They are very young boys. But because as a Kshatriya, he has to send, there is no other way. He was ready, Dasharath Maharaj was ready to come with the whole army to fight with the demons if required in the forest. But Vishwamitra Muni wanted Lord Rama and Lakshman, although they were young, he wanted them to come to the forest. So he didn't like. There are obligations. The king duty is different. So he has to do it. Similarly, Vasudeva, he promised to Kamsa. Kamsa was a very envious person. He showed so much of love to his sister. So in this material world we see that there are affections. People come very close to each other, they share love and joy, but a little disturbance, they separate each other. Especially if a person is wanting a relationship only for his sake or her sake, not for the sake of the others. If there is unalloyed love or devotion, you will not feel that only you want that enjoyment. But relationships in this material world are made in such a way that it's all centered about them. Aham mameti. Kamsa was such kind of person. He used to always feel that he is so great and everything should be under his control. Narada Muni actually alerted him, saying that how in his previous life Kamsa was a demon called as Kalanemi. And this demon was killed by Lord Narayana in the previous life. So he has to be very careful in this life. Kamsa was fearful that he will be killed. Why he was fearful? He showed so much of love for his sister. So this pastime is very famous. We all know how Kamsa, after his sister's marriage, he was personally driving the chariot. Very egoistic person. We see even in this world, for family's sake, for friends' sake, they give up their social egos. That becomes that personal ego, that I am very close to my family, my friends. Few social egos are given up. But if it affects their personal relationship, their personal egos, in that gets affected means they are ready to do anything. Akashavani, the message came in the sky saying that Kamsa, you are trying to be so nice to your sister. This sister's 8th son will kill you. All his affection immediately disappeared. Immediately caught hold of his sister. Until that he was giving lot of charity and he was personally driving, all that he forgot. That is called Swartha. Selfishness. You should be ready to do sacrifice if you are having so much of affection for your sister. But here what he did? He caught hold of Devaki's hair and immediately wanted to kill her. So Vasudeva was very alert in his duties. He immediately went and avoided. He requested, and Vasudeva was very intelligent. He knew how to deal with this kind of situations. So he requested and he told, today your sister is getting married. Even suppose you are trying to save yourself at this moment, you have no danger with your sister. You are having danger with your sister's children. So I will give you all the children who take birth from your sister. So he made a promise. And they were all imprisoned. And when first child took birth, Devaki, she could not give up her children, but Vasudeva took the child and he said, no, I have promised, I have to give to Kamsa, and Kamsa will not allow this child to leave, even if we try to keep it. So he took the child, and as he had given word, he gave to Kamsa. And Kamsa saw that he is so truthful. Sometimes demons also show some good qualities, but that is very, very temporary. So he thought, oh, you are so nice, so that's all right. But that is not the duty of a demon. When he came to know there is danger for him, after that he again took that child and he killed it. So these emotions of so-called goodness which appears in demons, they are very dangerous. They have to be dealt in Krishna way. Lord Rama dealt as an ideal king. Lord Rama's father Dashratha, he dealt in an ideal king without breaking the promise he has given to his wife. But Lord Krishna and his father, they dealt in a transcendental way. You don't have to be very obedient to people who are cheating, who are demonic. They require a transcendental arrangement to be dealt. Then Krishna will deal with it accordingly. Kaliya, snake, he wanted to come to Yamuna. Why he wanted to come to Yamuna? Because he knew there Garuda Deva will not come. Garuda had been cursed by Saubhari Muni. Saubhari Muni, he was sitting in the water, below the water and meditating of Yamuna. So he actually got disturbed and he came out and later got married. So why this happened? Because he cursed Garuda. So Garuda could not come near Yamuna because Saubhari Muni cursed that he cannot come here to eat the snake. Garuda is a bird. He eats snakes. So when he wanted to eat snakes, Saubhari Muni actually cursed him. So because of that curse what he gave, Kaliya actually stayed in Yamuna. So Saubhari Muni, he cursed a great servitor of Lord Vishnu. So he had to break his spiritual principles. So later he had to come out of Yamuna, although he had become a mystic yogi. He was sitting below the Yamuna water and meditating. There are two fishes which was copulating, and seeing that he got disturbed, he got an impulse in his heart, sensual impulse, and he came out, he got married, and he stayed for many years again, tried to enjoy this world, and then again he went back. But this Kaliya, when it came to Yamuna, it was a disturbance for the residents of Vrindavan, including cows and other animals. It made the whole water poisonous. This is the nature of envious people. Kalha Krura. Kalha means the snake, it's Krura. But there is one more Kalaha. Kala means one more snake, which is the Sarpadapi. It is more dangerous than the snake. Why? Because by mantra or by some ways, if you remove the teeth of the snake, you can control a snake. But the envious persons, they will not change. They always want to be trying to harm others. So these snakes are like that. That's why the snakes, when they are killed, even that time the sadhus or spiritual people, they don't mind, because they are disturbance for the people around that. So this Kaliya snake, he came to Vrindavan and he started disturbing. So Krishna, he entered Yamuna and challenged Kaliya to fight with me. So Krishna fighting with Kaliya, we know how he had to fight, and the Kaliya started making him like a rope, tying him up with his huge structure. So Kaliya is a very dangerous snake. Anybody envious has to be killed. So Krishna killed many demons who came to attack his friends. So Krishna life is very, very transcendentally approached, even in his own incarnations. Like Lord Rama, Lord Krishna is the same. But when they appear for different purposes. So we have to understand the real meaning of every avatar. We see Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. He appeared very transcendentally for his own purpose, to please his devotees. Lord Jagannath, Mahaprasadam story is mentioned in many Puranas. In one Purana, Lord Narada and Lord Shiva, in their discussion, how they got Mahaprasadam, Mahavishnu, his Mahaprasadam remnants are always with Mother Lakshmi. She is not supposed to give to anybody. But you know how Narada Muni, he pleases Mother Lakshmi, and one day he asked Mother, I want little Mahaprasad of your husband, my Lord Narayana. So she said, Lord has restricted me, I cannot give. But if you are asking, I will ask my Lord and then I will come back to you. So the Lord told his wife Mahalakshmi that, oh, you have told Narada you will give. Why did you tell him? But if you want, you can give him little Mahaprasadam without telling me. So next day she gave little Mahaprasadam, which Narada Muni became very, very happy. And he took little Mahaprasad and he was so much enjoying and joyfully and jumping in the sky, and he was moving around. And Lord Shiva saw that and he asked, you have got something so nice to eat and you are not giving me? So he said, I got from Mahavishnu, Mahaprasadam I have got from Mother Lakshmi. So Lord Shiva said, why don't you give me Mahaprasadam? So he also took and he was enjoying. In that enjoyment he was doing Tandav, his dance. Lord Shiva, when he dances, actually he does everything for destruction. So it was like Pralaya, destruction in the other planets. So they all approached Mother Parvati to control Lord Shiva. So Mother Parvati went to Lord Shiva and she said, what you are doing? Why are you? What has happened to you? He said, I have got Mahaprasadam. So she says, oh, I am your Ardhangi. I am your wife. You are not giving me. And you have taken. So Lord Narayana, he personally appeared to deal with the situation. So he said, no, I will give you Mahaprasadam. So she said, it is not sufficient, only I get Mahaprasadam. So she is Bhavani, like Bhuvaneshwar is Bhuvana Ishwara. So Lord Shiva and Parvati, Mother Bhavani. So this is how Bhuvaneshwara, from that Sanskrit term it has come. So this Bhavani means she is the mother of all the living entities. So she wanted to give this Mahaprasadam to everyone. So she said, this Mahaprasadam I want to give to all my children. So the Lord Narayana, he said, in Kali Yuga, he will make this arrangement in the form of Lord Jagannath. So this Mahaprasadam, which is not available to anybody, which is so rare, which Narada Muni had to take permission to get from Mother Lakshmi, is so much available right now as Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasadam in Jagannath Puri. So this Jagannath Mahaprasadam, the Lord has his purpose. Every Leela has a purpose. As Lord Jagannath, every day he is taking so much of prasadam which is offered to him. Jagannath Bhog is offered, Chappan Bhog, and that prasadam is distributed. Thousands of people come to Jagannath Puri, and Lord Jagannath keeps on supplying Mahaprasadam. There is never a shortage. 100 people come, 1000 people come, 10,000 people come. Transcendental arrangement is done. This kind of transcendental arrangements are done by the Lord in many ways. So Lord Jagannath Mahaprasadam Leela, as he coming as Lord Jagannath, these are our very special transcendental pastimes. So in every Janmashtami or any Leela when we discuss, we glorify the Lord. Janma karma chame divyam. The activities of the Lord are divyam. They are transcendental. And when we discuss these pastimes, actually they give us freedom from anxieties in the heart. Generally the most interesting topics in this world give us only pain. They give pleasure only for small time. I remember few people who had met us telling us that there were some books which are published, and after that they want the series of that from the publisher. The people are waiting after that book, when will the next part come, third part, fourth part, especially some detective series, people are very interested. So there are multiple topics in this world, some suspense, something connected to horror, something connected to humor. So these kind of topics gives temporary kind of enjoyment to the ears, but they don't give Hrit Karna Rasayana Katha. It doesn't give us permanent enjoyment. But the Leelas of the Lord gives us very pleasing to the heart. They give us happiness. So when devotees read the pastimes of Krishna, Lord Ramachandra, the pastime from Puranas, they become very pleased in the heart. This is the secret of spirituality. In material life, you try to maximum extract your sense enjoyment, but you get frustrated. So it is said in Bhagavad Gita, it is very nectarian material world. It appears to be very nectarian, full of happiness. It appears like, oh, this novel is coming, this nice music is there, I am having nice relationship. But little relationship disturbance will become like Kamsa. You are ready to kill your sister, father, friend, society, anybody including God. That's why when there is any disturbance in life, they say, where is God? Where is God? Where was God sitting when this distress happened? Actually, we have selected to come to this dirty world. We are always happy and peaceful in the spiritual world. We selected to come to this prison house. In prison house, you cannot expect any happiness. Even that so-called happiness what we are getting in this world, it's very, very temporary. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. But we accept the happiness in this world as so much nice and permanent happiness. And we accept this body as permanent. So when you accept this body as permanent, when you are becoming old, you get disturbed. And there is relationship disturbance, you get disturbed. So one of the item of knowledge which are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita is Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. That this world is temporary. And any miseries or happiness coming in this world also are temporary. People who get carried away by relationships, they should also realize that there is an item of knowledge to understand that this world is temporary. Life is temporary for everyone. But devotees, they do their duties, and by doing duty they become very successful. spiritually and even materially, a person who wants to do some duties, knowing that this body is temporary, this is an item of knowledge. So Kamsa or anybody, when we hear their pastimes, we come to know how we have to be alert, not to think that my life is permanent, I will enjoy my life, and then there should be no disturbance in my enjoyment, otherwise I'll commit suicide. This is one more thing. People are so much attached to this body, they want to enjoy this body. But to enjoy this body, you require that potency, that immunity to stay in this body. But little disturbance in the life, they are ready to give up this life, thinking that now this body is not giving me enjoyment, let me die. So that means they are not even in their mode of ignorance, they are not even actually recognizing they are attached to this body, and that body itself they are ready to give up. Even in material laws, the society laws, if you commit suicide, you are attempting to commit suicide, you are punishable by law. In the laws of the material world, even in the higher laws, there are 84 lakh species of life. In 84 lakh species of life, 4 lakh species are human life. Means different, mature, civilized. In that human form of life, the highest human life is Brahma. Then Devatas, Devatas, and this human form of life, this kind of body we get. The most civilized bodies we get later. And in this human form of life, we will get an opportunity to know about God. Atato Brahma Jignasa. Our life is to know about God. And if you are not ready to know about God, then your life is useless. Your life is no different from other animals. Na medanti, na kadanti. Whether the village animals, Bhagavatam is asking, whether the village animals, are they not eating, sleeping, mating and defending? Are the trees na jivanti, are they not living? So the argument may be that trees are living but they are standing, they cannot enjoy. But are there not other animals? They are eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So what is the difference between you and the other animals? So these kind of examples are given from Vedic literatures, how you can connect to the Lord. One pastime about how even a good husband and wife or relationship in this world, they can later become transcendental, they get so much of power. So there was one prostitute in the Vedic times. So she was called as Lakshahira. So this Lakshahira prostitute, she was a royal prostitute. Means she requires 1 lakh gold coins if somebody has to get her. So only royal people can afford her. So there was one person who was suffering from leprosy, one leper, and his wife, very devoted wife, she was doing all the duty what a good wife should do. She was cleaning his body, trying to keep him maximum clean, but that person was suffering with leprosy, a leper. He could not walk. Also, she used to actually drag him, help him in all ways. After doing everything also, so this person was not very satisfied. So his wife noticed, good wife knows what the husband wants. So she asked, my dear husband, I see you are not very satisfied. I am trying to serve you so much. So why you are not satisfied? So he said, yeah, I am not satisfied. Why? No, I want that Lakshahira, that woman, that prostitute, I want her. You see, the greediness of this material world. He has a good wife, he is diseased, his wife is serving him so much, but still his eyes is on some other women. So this wife told husband, don't worry, because the good wife knows what husband wants, and those days wives were doing anything for the sake of the husband. So she took an extreme step. So he said, how will you arrange money? So Lakshahira means 1 lakh gold coins has to be given to her. So she said, you don't worry, I will think of something. And every day, so what she did was, they were staying nearby that prostitute house. So she used to go and every day clean the house and come back. So this Lakshahira was noticing that somebody is coming and serving in her house without her knowledge, and they are going away. So one day she called, hey, you have come here, where are you going? What are you doing? Why are you every day coming and doing service? You want something from me? She told, yes. So my husband wants you. Oh, she said, okay, you bring him next day. So wife became very happy. She went to husband and told, husband, Lakshahira has accepted you. So Lakshahira has accepted you. You tomorrow we will go. So she dressed him with new dress and decorated him and took him to that prostitute house, left him there. So in the prostitute house, so many items were kept for eating. So the man was so delighted, he was so happy. Today I can go see Lakshahira, I can meet her, I can enjoy with her. So he was very delighted. So he saw there were so many items, and that's how he saw there were sweets. But he saw something different, that everything is kept in two vessels. Like suppose there is a rasgulla is kept in two vessels. Two different vessels. So he asked why everything is kept in two different vessels. Two different vessels. The same item. So one was kept in golden pots, one was kept in iron pots. So the prostitute Lakshahira, she told, actually, what is the difference between my body and your wife's body? What is the difference between any enjoyment with my body and your wife's body? Similarly, there is no difference between these two items which I put in an iron pot or golden pot. So I wanted to show you how everything is same in this world. You see, she is a prostitute, but she is also so philosophical. In the Vedic time, everybody is to do their duty. The wife should have slapped the husband, you want that prostitute? But she served the husband so much, she sent to a prostitute. Seeing her dutiful nature and such duty bound to her husband, the prostitute actually, she agreed to bring her husband and serve him. You see how they are interconnected. The Vedic life is always for serving others. Even the prostitute is thinking, how can I serve that nice lady? And when this so-called husband of that lady came, she also wanted to serve this fellow by teaching him what is reality. There are many prostitute examples in the Vedic literature, how they actually changed the life of some other person. There was one more person, his name was Bilvamangal Thakur, a great devotee later. In the past life he was also a devotee. He was also inspired to become a devotee by the prostitute. So she told him and advised him, he understood. So in the Bhagavatam it comes that this Sati, this chaste wife, she was so powerful that later she could control the sun not rising, because there was some curse to this person that he will die by next day morning. So she came to know somehow or the other that this person will die by next day morning. So sun has to come out, but she was so powerful because of her duties, because of her chastity, that she stopped the sun, and the Trimurtis in charge of the whole universe, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, they had to come to please her and settle the matter. So you see, if you follow the duties in the material platform for transcendental sake, actually you can get that kind of power. That's why in the Vedic age, you should not do only thing for your sake, for Swartha. It's all to do for others' sake. When you are doing as a duty, you please that principle of duty. When you are serving as a husband or as a wife or as a son or as a citizen or as a king, you do it for the sake of others. There are many examples, even in the modern history, where people fight for the sake of their nation and they get that good name and they get recognized, because this body is meant to serve others. It's not meant for serving our own egos. We all have false egos. We identify this body as mine, but we are not this body. Aham Brahmasmi, I am above this body. I have been engaged in this body. So there are examples like in different countries, so that where a person fought so much for his country and died, and that place is given some honor in behalf of that country in his name. So we have to do some sacrifice for others, and the Vedic life teaches right from first how you can serve others, starting from father, mother, then the children will grow up, they serve their guru, and when they get married with a good wife, how wife is taught how you can serve your husband, good husband, and how she becomes so powerful. It's not that the husband is very qualified person. You see how he was a leprosy person, and aiming some rich prostitute, and still she is serving, and she is so powerful. Ravana's wife. Ravana was such a sinful person. He is desiring Lord Ramachandra's wife. So he was killed. You can never desire others' wife. You see, the whole life is meant for serving others, not to enjoy others. So if you are having any such kind of disease, so you take care, you show all your affection to your wife. Don't go to others' wife. This is the teaching of the Vedic literatures. How you have to be honest. That's why in the Vedic life, there were many marriages allowed for a man. If you have to maintain your wife only, then you will have an opportunity to go to second women. You have to take her responsibility of one more marriage, then you have to take care of the children, provide them clothing, shelter, education, then you marry. Generally the women population is more than men population. So in the Vedic life, a man could maintain many wives for protection, otherwise he will be exploited. Especially the Kshatriyas, not meant for others. The Kshatriyas generally used to have more wives, others also used to have, but not like how Kshatriyas had. So they were giving protection to women. And if you were to have, they also sometimes used to have children. The servants also used to have children. The king, because the queens had a lot of servants, they used to go and they used to have children with king, and they used to be called as Dasi Putra. So if you have to do your duty either as polygamy, now to the modern context the government will not allow polygamy because the people also cannot follow. They are not able to maintain one wife, what they will maintain 2 wives, 3 wives. They will try to go and enjoy the body of that wife and then dump her. So Kali Yuga is a very degrading time. In the previous yugas, in the Vedic age, they are very dutiful. So that is the difference between the Vedic age and the present contaminated age. So you take any example. So now people will ask, how can women be exploited? So now why can't women marry 10 people? Why only man can marry 10 people? In the Vedic age, Kshatriya could marry. Why women cannot marry or what? So such kind of comparisons are done because everybody wants to enjoy this world. In those days, in the Vedic age, the man had a duty to take the responsibility of the whole family, and that he used to do it very dutifully. 1 wife, 10 wives or 100 wives, he has to provide shelter to them. In the modern scenario, 1 wife taking care only, he can't take care. What he will take care of 10 wives? So he cannot go to other's wife to do prostitution. So you see, even the prostitutes in the Vedic age were so advanced, they give spiritual knowledge. So when you become dutiful person materially, then you will go and understand what is God. These are all transcendental subject matter. To know about God. To know about God, at least you should know what are my duties in this human form of life. What are the duty as a son? What are the duty of a daughter? What are the duty of an husband? What are the duty of a wife, mother, father, as a king? So these are taught in the Vedic life in the form of Varnashrama Dharma. So it was not a caste system. So when you remember these duties which are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana, you see Ramayana. So all these pastimes are meant for us to remember the Lord and participate in His pastimes. So Krishna comes on the day of Brahma, because it is in every universe the Lord is going. He comes in one day of Brahma, one time, although there are so many incarnations. As Krishna, he comes only one time. So we are very fortunate that 5000 years back Krishna pastime has happened. Otherwise you have to wait for so many yugas to see Krishna. So Krishna form is Dvibhuja Rupa, Chaturbhuja Rupa is Narayana, Krishna is Dvibhuja, Shyamam Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham is Tribanga is dancing. Krishna is Tribanga. You see 3 curves on his body. When he is standing in the form of Shyama Sundara on the banks of Yamuna, Krishna is very attractive. So we have to do all our duties properly. And even if you are doing your duties properly, like Lord Ramachandra and his father, they showed example. Or we see in the story of Lakshahira, that example. So there are many examples of doing duties properly, but these duties have to get connected to the Lord. That was shown in Krishna Leela, where even sometimes some vows are compromised, like some cheating happens, like Vasudeva cheated Kamsa. He promised that I will give all my children, but he took away. He put Lord Krishna in Nanda Maharaj's house, and we know later how Krishna grew. Like this we have to remember Krishna's Leelas to When we remember Krishna Leela, then our life will become Divyam. Because Krishna is Divyam, his Leelas are Divyam, then when we hear that, we also become transcendently happy. So Krishna Janmashtami or all any festivals which are coming, so these kind of festivals are meant for remembering Krishna. So all rituals, generally people fast during festivals. So this fasting is done to become too much closer to the Lord, remember Him, how to deal with our life, how we can be happy by remembering the Lord. So we will have more pastimes discussed about Lord Krishna, because Janmashtami is coming closer by. We will remember Krishna and Krishna Leela with the vision of Acharyas, not by our own way. Otherwise they say Krishna is a butter thief, means like they feel that he is like some foolish boy or some pickpocketer stealing. No, Krishna is worshipable because of his stealing. When Mother Yashoda asked to open the mouth, he opened and he saw the whole creation. She saw the whole creation, different universes, but she did not believe because she is in the mood of a mother, and Krishna also doesn't want to disturb mother's mood. She forgot after that. She thought something else is happening. Maybe I saw a dream. So Krishna is connected to Mother Yashoda and he is having the whole universe in his mouth. But he is eating mud and butter. That is for giving pleasure to that gopis who are making that butter. They want to give it to Krishna only. And Krishna is eating with so much of love. He has the whole property. Everything is his. He had so many cows. Why should he go and steal in somebody else's house? So he is a transcendental personality. So this Leela will understand when you hear from great Acharyas, not from ordinary people. Ordinary people will say, oh, your Krishna is a thief, and you people are worshipping Krishna, you are also thieves. No, Krishna is not such kind of thief. He is a transcendental thief. He is not only makkan chor, butter thief, he can steal your heart. He is a person who is stealing our hearts when you are giving your devotion. So you have to get connected to the Lord, because in this material world, whatever you do, you will get frustrated. You may commit suicide also, then you have to move as ghost until you get the next body. So what is the use of committing suicide? So you have to face this world, and when you are frustrated, at least you do your duties properly. And when you are doing your duties properly in different relationships, and then you are still failing, doesn't matter, you now take to transcendental relationship with Krishna. You will never get disheartened. Krishna will never make you lose your heart. Because anybody in the past lives you see of great devotees, of great acharyas, their examples of great devotees, they never lost hope in Krishna. They never lost hope in practice of devotion to the Lord. In the present circumstances, you see everything is a failure. We work so hard to maintain our family, society, and they blame us. What you are doing for us? Even if you have done your duty, people blame. And nowadays, who does duty? They just want to please themselves. They want to say, I am so great, I am so great. So today's life is of chaos and confusions. People have no idea how to be happy. They don't know what to eat also properly. They adopt lot of methods only which can harm them. Their eating habits are bad, their sleeping habits are bad. The whole life is in danger. So such kind of situation we are in. But Kalir Doshanide Rajan Astireko Mahan Gudan. But there is one wonderful opportunity. What is that? Kirtanadeva Krishnasya. If you remember Krishna, Kirtanadeva Krishnasya, Mukta Sangam, you can get immediately liberation. It's an opportunity for us to remember Krishna during festivals. So we remember Krishna, we chant Krishna's name and become happy. Jai Jagannath.